My name is Anya Molyviatis, and I am a Swiss, Greek, and American fiber artist and designer. With weaving, I almost feel like I'm a musician, a mechanic, and a spider at the same time. I'm just weaving with thinnest materials, organizing these threads that I've hand dyed. It's this whole dance with the material that when you're working from the foundation of something, the potential of what you can create is limitless. I start each piece with a color palette. I choose my color palettes really based on how I feel with them. I will lay out all these mohair bundles and slowly start to organize them into the color gradient that I'm looking for, or the one that feels right. And once I get to the point where I just need to see it as a piece, that's when I begin. I get onto my warping thread, my machine, and I go in and I, one thread at a time, make each calculation, dye it, and then I bring it to the loom. I have one manual loom and two digital looms. The big difference with a digital loom and a manual loom is that on a manual loom you have up to 8 harnesses, and that's because for each harness you need a pedal, and you manually go and you tie each pedal to the different harnesses, and that's how you create your weaving and your weaving structures. On the digital looms, when you have up to 24 or 40 harnesses, you can't necessarily have a pedal for each harness, so that's where the digital component comes in. To develop three-dimensional weaving, the harnesses are a really key importance in the depth of how thick you can make a piece and exploring the density of a three-dimensional weaving. So on a 24 harness loom, you can only go to a certain depth and size. And on a 40 harness loom, I can push that next level of the depth aspect within my weaving. My current show is titled Bloom. My whole idea behind Bloom was to have a body of work that showcased all these color combinations and emotions and sensory experience. My first series pushing the boundaries of the three-dimensional aspect within weaving and what's possible within them. So this entire body of work are very colorful, sound-absorbing pieces. The beginning of my development, my research and development, was to try and figure out how I could create pieces that had texture and gave dimension in a room and in a space and could really move you even in their stillness. I use a lot of color because I think that color is the most universal language that we have. I wanted these pieces to really tap in on a personal and intimate level. All my pieces are color gradients. It's the best way to show time or a sense of time in a piece. Every time you look at it again, the gradient gives you a new sense of motion within the piece that you didn't notice before. You're constantly moving around it. That's really my approach on trying to create animation within these pieces. And working with fibers, or weaving, which is such an ancient craft. It's been a part of us forever. We live with it, we're around it all the time, so it's a craft that really changes with us. It changes us and evolves with us as it evolves, and it evolves as we evolve. That intimacy, I think, has a lot of potential in how you can shape the world around you.